Hey there, welcome to the Traveling Homesteader and Gyroscope Farm. I'm Kathy, and today I'm at my local Grange. You're saying, lady, what's this Grange thing? Well, where I am in Oregon, there's still a small contingent of Granges that are around, and basically it's a fraternal organization that used to be really strong, similar to the Moose, and there's several others. The Masons, maybe, too. And the Grange usually has been an organization for agriculture-related businesses. Farmers, cattlemen, all that sort of thing. And my particular Grange, the Long Tom Grange, you can see there, has been making a difference in the community since 1935. So this particular Grange, the Long Tom Grange, has been around in our area for a long time. And our organization has been pretty cool because it's kind of transitioned into more of a community center, and the people here really are friendly and outgoing. And today, there's a batch of us that are here cleaning. You may be able to see some through the windows over there, or even hear some in the background. But we decided to get together just as a group to come and volunteer to help clean up our building. Because, things like buildings that get used, like ours do, need some cleanup. And so today I thought I'd just poke around and kind of chat with some of the people so you can kind of see what they do in their communities and realize that this is a volunteer effort. So no one here is getting paid to do this. We're all friends and we like to get together and do things. And the interesting part is that we all have different lives outside of our interest here. We have a couple of vineyard owners and winery owners. We have several people that are retired. In fact, we have some owners of an electrical company here as well. So while our Grange does not necessarily concentrate on ag businesses specifically, we include a lot of different people who do a lot of different things. And this is kind of where our location is. You can see it's very, very nice and sunny today, thank goodness. And this is our grounds, and we get to help upkeep this particular building, both inside and out. And it's really kind of nice to be able to come on days like this to help socialize with each other and kind of check out what's going on with everybody. So let's go see what's going on. So somebody was kind enough to set up a nice list like this for us to start working on, but we were able to go in and kind of do as we wanted. But there are some nice things like this that show some history about what we used to do at the Grange, like the Daffodil Festival. And we used to we currently use this kitchen for a lot of different things besides that. Here you can see how people just kind of jumped right into getting some work done and kind of just chattering up the store.
Yeah, life is good. Yeah.
So as you go by my house, I had a new baby cat the other day.
Yeah, that's what Steve said, yeah. First I thought he said cat.
Oh, no.
Who cares?
You do. You like cats.
Yeah, we got
We said a new dog, you wouldn't care, but a cat.
Yeah, cat's okay. But no, I was like a cat. No, a cat. Oh.
So is your daughter-in-law happy with that camera?
I guess, yeah.
Tell her she can always take it to wherever it is and try to get on something.
So right now I met up with my friend Bev Mathiasen, who's up there, who, believe it or not, I for the longest time only knew her as Bev the meter reader, because she came out and read our meter through our local electric company. And so she just told me something really cool that I want to share with you guys. So Bev, why do you come to the Grange and help out?
I come to the Grange and help out because my parents did it before me. My dad was the youngest master ever of this Grange. I think what your parents instill into you lots of time goes on to the next generation, so it brings back memories of him and just knowing he was in here before. And it's kind of cool to come help out and keep on with tradition.
Yeah. So the other thing is, why the Grange and maybe not something else? I mean, you probably have a lot of other interests since you've done a lot of things, but why stick with this Grange?
Sense of community.
Yeah.
And it's rewarding. Do something that rewards you. Do it because you want to, not because you have to.
Yeah. And that's the kind of cool part, is that doing stuff because you like it helps out a lot. Right?
Helps out a whole bunch.
Yeah.
And I love washing windows.
Washing windows is the bomb.
Windows are the bomb. Now you can really see what's happening.
You can spy in on
It gives you
everybody.
clarity.
Yes.
Been bylaws just this one time.
Let's see. There was a big to-do with the bylaws because they were mad.
So now I have the opportunity to chat with Danuta here. Now, I'll tell you this, I don't know if you know this or not, but I heard about Danuta before I even moved out here. I did. So when my parents moved out here, about 21 years ago, my mom said, Catherine, we're moving to Oregon. We found a place, and I met this woman. She said, her name's Danuta, and she's really kind of cool.
She said that?
Yes. And I said, Danuta, I've never heard of a name Danuta before, so I have to meet this woman. And she says, besides that, she owns a winery with her husband, and it's just great. So, Danuta, why do you come to the Grange knowing that you have all this other stuff to do here?
Well, when I first came here, when my husband proposed, he said, oh boy, now you can be a member of the Grange.
Nice.
And I didn't know what a Grange was. And he explained that it is a community center, a gathering place. And you know, I was from San Diego at the time, and so I wasn't aware of how rural structure worked. But this was really wonderful to be part of this community. That was 27 years ago. Robin's mother was a member of this Grange, and so it's sort of been in the family
for a while,
for almost 70 years. And Robin has been a member of the Grange for that long. And so I joined the Grange, of course, became a Grange member, and it's a quick and easy way to get to know your community and the people that live here, and get to know your neighbors. And it's an opportunity you don't get in urban areas. There are a lot of people in cities and more urban areas who will say they don't know who lives next door. You know, but here we get to know all these wonderful people that live around us.
And it's funny, another friend, you might know Mary Statham, her showmate, she starts calling almost everybody her neighbor, whether they're next door or 5 miles down the road. We're neighbors.
That's right.
And I thought that's kind of a neat way to look at it.
Well, for instance, when we drive down the road to our house, you know, we live about 15 minutes from Junction City, right? So it's about a 15-minute drive. If we see garbage on the road or something to dispose of, we get out of the car and we pick it up because we think that's part of our driveway.
That's
it is literally our driveway. And so we'll clean it up.
Good deal. I like that. That's a good way to look at it too. Yeah. So because you live a distance from town and you have this community to help take care of, how do you find being self-reliant has helped you? Like, what do you consider self-reliance in your home?
Being able to live independently outside of structures that require our survival. So it's we have solar power, so that we make our own energy. We have our own garden, so we can grow our own in the summer. we can grow our own fruits and vegetables and that sort of thing. We have a very large orchard where we've planted. And it's just our personal. We have heirloom apples. We have cherries, nectarines.
And I think my mom has even gotten some table grapes from you guys.
Table grapes, even among the 70 acres of wine grapes, we even have table grapes. So being able to sustain ourselves with energy, environment, and nature in general. It's
awesome.
Nice.
Well, thanks for helping me out, and you know, I'm glad I met you.
Thank you, Catherine.
So you got the sills, is that what you're saying?
No, I did it outside. I was not the
Oh, okay.
I did the silver. I did it outside. Hey ladies, I have to go.
So this is my friend Al, and I actually met him here at the Grange, and we found out that we both are Utah State Aggie people. Sinners, we know.
Yep.
But
No, that's a good thing. It's good to be an Aggie.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Al, how did you first come to know the Grange?
Boy, that's a good question. When we moved here about 7 years ago, we started meeting just neighbors, and some of them were involved in the Grange, and They just said, hey, show up every once in a while, and it's a good way to get to know people. When you move out, people in the country, we're separated by a little bit of space, and so you don't always know your neighbors very well, and especially when you're a new move-in. And so it was a good way to meet some people and make some friends and get to know the neighborhood. And so, yeah.
And you got involved pretty quick in the Daffodil Festival, didn't you?
Yeah, my wife was, she got recruited to do cookies or coffee or something, and so she got involved, and then I sort of got involved with things going on, and so so we were involved in the Daffodil Festival, and so
Sweet. And so when you moved out here, did you move from a city or another
city?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is our first time living in the country. And my wife grew up in the city. I lived in cities, and I just never spent time in the country, but never lived in the country, and it's two different things. And so
do you find that you have to be more, prepared or self-reliant?
I think so.
Out here than in the city?
I think you do. You can't rely on utilities. Electricity is usually on, but not always, and so you have to make sure that you're ready for power outages. We have a well instead of relying on city water, and I actually worry more about water than I do anything else. And so we have emergency water. In fact, we're working on emergency power, not only for our house but for our well house. And we have emergency food, which you always sort of have some, but I think we have a little bit more now than we used to. We have more space to store it too. And we have emergency water. We keep some cash on hand. Because you just never know, what if the banks go out? And you just hear all these stories. And once you retire, you have time. When you're working, you don't have time to really worry about stuff like that. It's just rush day to day. But once you're retired, you have time to think about those things. And so we try to keep. Awesome. We would try to be totally self-sufficient for about a week.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
if we could go 7 days, we figure,
you're good.
They should get most things back in 7 days, and if they don't, we probably don't want to be alive anyway. So, yeah.
Now, you had mentioned about water, and you're involved with the Long Tom Watershed Council, right?
I am. Yes.
How did you get involved with them?
Through a restoration project on our property. We have a creek that was that they had done a stream rehabilitation project on, and our property borders the creek, and they asked if they could come on our property and get an easement to do some restoration work and to get it more to a natural riparian state, to bring, try to encourage the beavers and the trout and that sort of thing, native trees. And so I got involved through them. I got to know them when they were working on the land, and they asked me to be a board member, and so I have been.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So that's kind of another cool organization that you may not have been able to be involved with if you didn't live out here, huh?
If you live in the city, you don't ever hear about things like that. It's just all that stuff. You pay your utility bill,
and there you go.
And there you go. Yeah, but out here, you worry about things like that.
Yeah, cool.
And it's good to get involved, and we have some property, and so it's kind of nice to get it back to where more native plants, and we have a deer herd that comes through, and we've got beavers that we see in the stream every once in a while, and those things weren't there a few years ago. So
bonus points.
So we feel like we're doing our part for conservation as well.
Awesome, yeah. So get to help out the Grange, get to help out the animals. Life is decent.
Life is good. It's good to be retired.
When I grow up, I'll be there too.
Yeah, well, you may not grow up, but you'll be retired. Big difference between the two, Captain. You can retire without growing up.
Bonus points, I like that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for your input. I appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. Yeah. Bye, everybody. Go Aggies.
This large dining room side of our Long Tom Grange has been host to a myriad of wonderful holiday dinners, as well as dances and other events in our local area, including the Daffodil Festival that we've had for 2 years. And the Long Tom Grange has been a great example of community because it involves so many people in so many different ways. In fact, one fundraiser that we did through the Long Tom Grange was a series of calendars called the Men of the Long Tom Grange, which incorporated both rural members of the community and people who worked in town, including doctors and board members and various different people, to help raise money for our local school district. It's been fundraisers like this and the Daffodil Festival, along with helping each other out, that's been a great benefit to our community. So coming out to the Long Tom Grange in this particular episode was really a great thing, I think, for a community like ours to know of our history, having the pool club and the Grange and an old schoolhouse be all at one location, but have people come today to interact and help plot and plunder different activities to help bring today's community together and have a safe spot where we can feel like we can socialize with our neighbors, and also help support each other's local businesses. So if you haven't subscribed yet or left a comment, please subscribe to the Traveling Homesteader and come check us out at gyroscopefarm.com.